Okay, Fred, we've talked about your obviously sponsorship in horse racing and your support of UK racing. I suppose the big story in the recent years is Chelmsford City. Tell me how you got involved in Chelmsford City initially.
Well, my managing director of Tote, Phil Sears, brought it to me, and if I'm truthful with you, I hardly listened to it because I just thought it was a pipe dream, and I never really believed in the concept of it. But he kept plugging away at it, and if anything, he's stubborn. And he kept bringing it to me and saying, "I believe this will work. It could be a good business. It could be good for racing. It's got everything. It's proximity to London. It's 25 minutes on the train there.
Yeah.
It's proximity to Newmarket, which was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And its catchment areas for 3 million people. So Phil kept bringing it, and it started to get a bit more serious. But then we started to. It's probably got more jumps than Cheltenham, and we had to jump. Believe me.
To get through all the hoops.
Yeah. It was. There was always obstacles in our way. It started with banks. Because, as you know, it had been put into administration. We had to talk to Western Register, which is an arm of OBS. We managed to agree a deal with them, and then we had BHAs. Then we had to build a stand and go through all the safety procedures of health and safety, of security. Plus, we had to write some big cheques. I mean,
to clear what was already existing?
Well, we had to, first of all, we had to buy it from the bank. That was the first thing that we had to do. Then we had to start building the grandstand, and we got planning permission for a grandstand. And I believe that we've done 2 years' work in under 1 year. We got involved with a very good firm of builders. But for reasons that I don't really want to go into, they actually started building before I had a signed contract with them, and they did it on my word and my handshake, which I was very pleased for them to do. And what I promised them, my promise was this: I'll pay you, you build. And every month they would come to me with their invoice, and it was settled within 2 or 3 days, just to show goodwill and honesty on our part. Anyway, eventually we were then in a position to sign a contract, and they really worked for it. Towards the end, towards October, November, the pressure really came on, because we were opening the racecourse in January, and we had to have tested everything, which we did do. And you know, Phil, through being his stubborn self, drove it home, and he did it. I appointed Joe Scanlon as chairman of the course for me, because I wanted a trusted pair of hands, and Joe's developed it and developed the course along with Phil for me, and Joe knows the way I work and my ethics, and he's taken them, my ethics down to Essex.
Ethics to Essex.
Exactly. So that's what he's done, and we eventually got it open. And if anything went wrong with us in the first month, it was the weather was horrible. I mean, why open a racecourse in January? But we did, and it worked. And all in all, I asked for the markings, and I got 9 out of 10 from my people. They said, you know, there is bits and pieces, and there still is bits and pieces.
I was there on launch day. It was really good. Very, very impressed.
So, you know, but there was a lot. I mean, your reputation's on the line.
It is,
there. And the last thing you want to do is look an idiot in front of the media. But more than that, forget the media, in front of the punters. You want people to go and enjoy themselves and have a good time there. And I believe that that's what we're doing. We're not perfect, we're humans, and we're going to make mistakes, but we'll put our lot into it. That's
But the facilities are fantastic, and you can see where it's going already, can't you, with what's there? I know there's, Joe was saying there's outline planning permission in for another stand, there's the turf course to go in, there's a lot of things that are coming in the future for Essex and for Chelmsford City.
Absolutely. I mean, we're putting a 7 furlong course in there. It's a straight one. We've actually put spades in the ground on that now. That started a few weeks ago. So we've got to get that, and as you say, we've applied for a turf track. We've got outline planning permission for another grandstand there. We've got Madness, the
music
group there.
night,
They're going to come later this year. So we're trying all these things, you know, and if I can, I'd like to put something on that the other tracks are not doing. But you know, we knew at the game we are going to make mistakes. You know, I put my hands up to that before we make them. But we won't fail without trying.
No.
You know, I'm going to really have a good go at it.
And the quality of the racing you've brought in, I know you were talking about the investment side, but looking at the prize money that's even on a quiet twilight evening, it's I think in excess of £50,000, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's saying something to the rest of the industry. This is what we want to do. We want to attract some of the better horses there. Why would you want to send a horse down to a racetrack for £1,500 prize money?
Yeah,
it's not worth sending it.
Exactly. No, it is, and it was very obvious. Certainly on that first day that I saw it, that you know that Godolphin had a big presence. There were a lot of the big trainers there, weren't there? So
well, you know, before we opened the track, we had John Gosden there, Michael Stout, Lady Cecil, taking horses out there for a spin. They're not going to send expensive horses to a track if it's not safe, if it's not the right track for them. And they were more than pleased with it, and the feedback we got from those sort of people was fantastic.
Yeah, on the existing track, and you think that's the level you want to aim for with the turf track as well, is it?
And better.
Keep it up that level all the time.
And better.
Yeah, and we were talking obviously about some of the big days. I think there was 2 days planned this year. I think Joe said March the 28th is the first one, is it? The first six-figure day, which coincides with obviously the World Cup out in Dubai. Is that all funded by Betfred again, the prize money for those days?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You know, you've got to chance your arm a little bit and gamble, but that's the business we're in. You know, all business or sporting events are a risk business. You don't know until you try it.
No.
So we're going to try it. If we're right, we're right, and if we're wrong, we're wrong.
Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is,
Absolutely.
as they always say, don't
That's the word.
And then was the other one in August, did we say? In September, the 26th of September, which was just before the Breeders' Cup. A month before the Breeders' Cup.
Wouldn't it be nice if we get one of the winners at our track in September going to the Breeders' Cup?
Go to the Breeders' Cup, fantastic.
That'd be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, it'd be very good. And some of the other things you've got going on at Chelmsford City, we were talking with Joe about this, the Dick Turpin charity ride. I think it's setting off from Chelmsford City, heading up to York, is it?
Yeah, and we expected to do it over about an 8-day period. It leaves Chelmsford City. As Dick Turpin started off from London, well, we're starting near London, and he's riding to York. And what we're doing, the proceeds of what we're donating to it is going to go to 2 charities, racing charities, which is the rehabilitation of horses
and the Northern Racing College.
Exactly.
Brilliant, yeah. And that was the 8th, I think the 8th to the 10th of August. They set off from there over 10 days.
And we finished there on Ebor Day.
Up in York.
Which is our sponsorship day.
Fabulous, that'd be great. And so for PR, that's great for Chelmsford City, I suppose, but also just for putting back into the charity as well.
Yeah, and I'm not Dick Turpin. Yeah. I'm not putting any mask on.
No.
Punters have accused me of being Dick Turpin in the past, but I promise you we're giving value.
It's not. And what was the gentleman's name? Howard Wright, was it, who's involved with it? You've known Howard for a lot of years, have you?
Oh, Howard, yeah. Howard wrote for the Racing Post for many, many years, and he's steeped in horses and horse racing. Lovely man, and we've supported Howard over the years, and I'm glad to do it again.
Fabulous. So how many fixtures have we got this year at Chelmsford City? 58?
We've got 58, and I'd like 158 if we can. All right, we're not going to get it, but I would like more meetings next year. I'd love to get it up to 100 if we could.
Is that in the BHA's hands at the moment? Or?
Well, it's not in our hands, but you know, we can make the applications, and with goodwill we may get it off them.
Well, fabulous. We'll look forward to seeing how Chelmsford City develops, Fred, and good luck with it all.
All right, thanks a lot, Richard.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Take care.